Mm, there it goes. Hey, Shalom Akim. Yahweh Shem Yahshai Barakatah. All praise, glory, and honor to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Double honors to the apostles and elders, better known as Great Millstone. Shalom, salutation. Check the audio. Yahweh Shem Yahshai Barakatah. Okay, it's good. Um, shit, man. I wanted to do this earlier, but I passed out. But that's okay. This is uh something from camp that we went into, and I just wanted to highlight some of this. And as you see by the title, it's called so what I titled it. GMS is a cult. Well, let's explore that phrase a little bit. Let's look into that, because that's what they always say. Oh, you're in a cult. You're in a cult. So we're gonna start with this with the word. Let's just start with the word itself. Okay. So the word cult, right here, noun, 16 tens. Worship. Okay. It means worship. Also, a particular form of worship. This brings a precept to mind, so we're gonna grab it. Select it. Okay, this is man. This truth isn't hard, you know. It's it's funny. Um man. Whew. Let's start at we'll just start at the top. John 4:21. Yahweh Shai saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. And we're as a nation, this is that hour. You know, this is that hour. Our people have been removed from Jerusalem and that area, entirely. So you worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. Of is another word to say by. Okay. But the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. Let's highlight that. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. Okay, so this is a heavy, you know. We know what we worship. Okay, so going back, a particular form of worship, right? We worship in spirit and we worship in truth, which the world cannot comprehend the light. Oh man, I have to grab that precept too. You know, the world cannot comprehend the light, and it's that simple. They're not meant to get it. Having eyes to see and see not, ears to hear and understand not. Right? So like, um, I think it's John 1:5. Let's double check. So like, you bear with me. So like it. So John 1:5. Okay, Khan. Here it is. It says, "And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehend it not." You see? So we know what we worship. Okay. Um. So like it. but they know, we know. So like, ye worship ye know not what. We know what we worship, for salvation is of the Jews. So that's right there telling you, man, that look, he's telling her, he's telling this woman, which Israel is compared to a comely and a delicate woman. The nation of Israel doesn't comprehend, what's going on. So that's why you see them saying, "Oh, GMS is a cult," and then they lump us in, and they say, "Oh, you black Hebrew Israelites are a cult." Hey, well, look it. If you're gonna call us black Hebrew Israelites, then you gotta, hey, be truthful and be balanced, man. What about those red Hebrew Edomites? What about those yellow Hebrew Ammonites? What about those yellow Hebrew Moabites? You know, what about those black Hebrew Ishmaelites, man? What about them? I always want to put a goddamn label on something, man. Okay, so this is why. So like, you can go back to the window. Okay, this is why it says worship. Cult is worship, also a particular form of worship. Okay, from French, culte of the 17th century. So you see, this is also, I forget the term, but the meaning and the power of words, weaken over time, right? Why? Because the world is given into the hands of the wicked, right? And he covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Okay, look at this. From Latin, cultus, care, labor, cultivation, culture. Okay, these are all very important. We're gonna get more precepts. It says worship, reverence. This is also like another word of honor. Worship and reverence also mean honor. Originally tended like a field, cultivated, a past participle of collere, to till, see colony. Okay, hold on. We're gonna hold this information. Okay, okay, and let's go to Jeremiah 18, and we'll start at 5. So like, the word of the Lord came to me, saying, O house of Israel, cannot I do with you as this potter, saith the Lord, which is Yahweh? Behold, as the clay is in the potter's hand, so are ye in mine hand, O house of Israel. Who's in control? Yahweh. Okay? Okay? That's so everything that's happening to us is because he said it was going to. His word doesn't go out void. Okay? It doesn't return unto him void. But when it goes out, it accomplishes and does, whatever, wherever he sent it. And the word becoming flesh is Yahweh Shai, a very obedient. Okay, everything purpose and proposed by the Most High, Yahweh Shai, carried out. Matter of fact, I think it's in Luke. I can't remember right off top, but it's I think it's like the 24th chapter. Yep, Luke 24. Luke 24 and 44. And he said unto them, These are the words which I spake unto you while I was yet with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. That's the word that went out that is not returned unto him void, but it will accomplish that which he pleases. Okay? Okay? Verse 7. At what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom. Okay, the nation of Israel, the kingdom of heaven, to pluck up and to pull down and to destroy it. If that nation against whom I have pronounced turn from their evil, I will repent of the evil that I thought to do unto them. At what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to build up and plant it. Okay? To build up and plant it, to cultivate it. If it do evil in my sight, that it obey not my voice, then I will repent of the good wherein I said I would benefit them. So that's why we're going through what we're going through. Okay? Because we're in the hands of the Heavenly Father. Okay? And this is what must happen. But the point of all this pain, suffering, and misery that's in the world, right, is for the elect. For the elect, okay, they're gonna worship, and the world's not gonna know what they worship or what they mean by this, because the world is in darkness, and the darkness cannot comprehend the light. Okay, let's read this from the top now. Now that we're getting more understanding, this is John 1:1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Yahweh, and the Word was the Most High. The same was in the beginning with the Most High. Now this isn't talking about the Trinity. You see how it's separating. The beginning was the Word, and the Word was with the Father, and the Son are in agreement. That's a whole nother topic. The same was in the beginning in Genesis. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. Yahweh Shai and the angels started creating things, and it had to get signed off by the supervisor, by the lead, by the person in charge. The head man himself gave out the blueprints, and he was like, "Yep, that's right. That's the code. That's to spec. Yep, that's good." In him was life, and the life was the light of men. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Okay, so the world cannot comprehend the light. So like it. So all these words which Yahweh Shai spake, right, while he was with you, that all things must be fulfilled which were written in the law of Moses and in the prophets and in the Psalms concerning me. So he had a beard. That's one of the precepts we always use, like, hey, look, you got a beard, you believe in, the Lord, you love him and all this stuff. Well, where's your beard at? You gotta have a beard on your face, right? But showing you that from the beginning, the word, okay, wasn't the world and the word weren't commingling properly. Okay, the majority of Israel is going off, man. Okay, because they weren't worshiping the right way. Again, the word cult, what does it mean? Worship. Also, a particular form of worship. I know I'm doubling back over this information, for a reason, to drill it in. Okay, but don't worry, we're moving forward. Don't worry. Okay, so highlighting here. Okay, at what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to build and to plant it. That's the cultivation. Okay, remember what we saw here. Okay, worship, particular form of worship, we covered that. Latin cultus, care, labor, cultivation, culture, worship, reverence, which this worship and reverence again mean honor. Okay, culture, cultivation, care, and labor. That's what a husbandman is a farmer. Okay, the husbandman is the farmer. Okay, so they say that they say, oh, you guys are in a cult, you guys are the devil. Well, let's read this precept on what the Lord said himself. This is Matthew 12:25. And Yahushua knew their thoughts, and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And this is why people get removed. This is why the spirit of sifting must be around. This is why people say, "Oh, GMS is losing it. They're losing. Great Millstone is losing members left and right. They can't hold on to nobody." No, the spirit is sifting those who are unworthy. Okay. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? So if Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai isn't dealing, then nothing's gonna come to pass, man. You know. But we know this isn't true. We know the spirit of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is working through the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. That's why this truth is spread like wildfire, because of their faith, man, because of their works. Okay, and if I by Beelzebub cast out devils, right? This is Yahweh Shai talking. By whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. Hey, what did he promise the 12? That they would sit on 12 thrones, judging the 12 tribes of Israel. But if I cast out devils by the Spirit of Yahweh, then the kingdom of the Most High is come unto you. Which, hey, look, that's now. Demons are getting shaken off people by their, them waking up to the truth. You've seen all these celebrities starting to, uh, tweet and, post information now, talking about Israel. So pinpointing the elect is getting more and more um, serious. Okay. Or else, how can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, and then he will spoil his house? Okay. So how else, so basically they're saying, otherwise, if this wasn't the truth, it would have been bound up and set aside and rifled through. Which, that's an example of what that is comfy. When those cops raided them in, man, because that was the work of men. That wasn't the work of the Most High. And you're gonna see that with Nate, with this IUIC, all these fucking, ISUPK, all these guys, man, talking all this shit, that are mocking the Most High, that are mocking the true worship. Hey, they're gonna get bound up, man. Okay, and they're gonna get spoiled. Okay, he that is not with me is against me, and he that gathereth not with me scattereth abroad. Yahweh Shai told Paul, he said, it was hard for thee even to kick against the pricks. Okay, so all these precepts, they should be, in mind. Okay, so we pulled that. We got that one. Oh, the reason we pulled this up, because we're going to look up this word worship. Okay, proskuneo, which brothers have done multiple videos in this word, to prostrate oneself, to bow, to worship, reverence, to honor. Okay, that's what this is. Proskuneo. Okay, worship. Okay, to pay homage, to show to men and beings of superior rank. Okay, to heavenly beings, to demons. What they call the Most High, Alashadia, terrible demon-like power. I'm not going to go heavy into this word because, I myself, as well as other brothers and apostles and elders, have done sit-downs on this. So watch those videos. Okay, I just pulled it up for a quick reference. Okay, so going back to cult, which was inspired by this particular phrasing here. Okay, to build and to plant it, a cult. Okay, we're going to keep reading. So we read with cult, care, labor, cultivation, culture. Now, um, culture, mid 15th century. What was this? 1610s. Look how new this word is. Okay, look how new that word is. Matter of fact, let me see if I can get this real quick too. I wanted to try to find a way to go run to grab my apocrypha from the living room, but this will suffice. Okay, so this is the King James. The point is going to be right here. Wherefore, okay, so I'm going to blow this up a bit. Hopefully that's good enough. Okay, it says, wherefore let me entreat you to read it with favor and attention. What is the it? The book. Okay, the book, the scriptures, and to pardon us wherein we may seem to come short of some words which we have labored to interpret. For the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another tongue, into another language, have not the same force in them. And not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own language or tongue. For in the eight, okay, so that's the point. Okay, oh, actually, let's keep reading. Okay, that's the point. Okay, that's the point. Colt, 1610s. Okay, also from the Latin. Okay, so we covered these parts of the word earlier in the video. Now we're dealing with this. We already covered worship and reverence in past videos. So we're dealing with the culture and cultivation. Okay, which let's look up also. Also with that word culture, okay, mid 15th century, the tilling of land from Middle French culture and directly from Latin cultura, a cultivating agriculture, figuratively, care, culture, and honoring from past particle stem of colere, to tend or guard, watchman. Okay, tend the flock, watchman, which is a watchman. Cultivate, cultivate. See colony. That's why we had this word colony up here too. We'll get to that. Okay. See colony. Figurative sense. And see, it says see colony, not only in culture. You probably saw it here too. In the word cult. Okay. Look at 17th century, 16th century, 15th century. We're going back. That's why we read this. Okay. Because when the same things uttered in Hebrew and translated into another language have not the same force in them. Okay, and not only these things, but the law itself and the prophets and the rest of the books have no small difference when they are spoken in their own tongue. See, these are interchangeable, language and tongue. That's interchangeable. And keep reading real quick. For in the 8th and 13th year, okay, you see how time even is different. 8th and 13th year coming into Egypt, when your Gettys, when your Gettys was king. See, this is how the time used to be told, and the Chinese kept this tradition too, because it all started with like I think it was either the Hun or the Han dynasty. Okay, that was the first recording of their traditions of their culture that they have now. Okay, actually, let's just pull it up. Why not? Okay, first first known Chinese dynasty, right? First known Chinese dynasty. I was saying Zhai dynasty's 21st century mark, primitive society, 16th, 11th century BC. Okay, timeline of Chinese history. Let's see, should be here. Peking man died in modern. Okay, where's the? This isn't exactly what we want. So let's go back. This might be dynasties. There we go. Slovakia. Dynasties. Zhai, the Zhai dynasty. Okay, so 2070 BC to 1600 BC. Okay, Han. This is the one I was thinking of, the Han dynasty. Okay, but the point with this is showing you how time is supposed to be recorded. Okay, but with the devil in power, right? Earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Okay, his time has changed. Where you're seeing things like 1610s, 17th century, mid 15th century. Okay, so we got to go back. to get to the power. I go back to get to the power of words, of understanding. Okay, so this is another example. This is another small lesson. For in the 8th and 13th year coming into Egypt, okay, when your Gets was king and continuing there some time, I found a book of no small learning. Therefore I thought it most necessary for me to bestow some diligence, and that's a key word, diligence, and travail to interpret it, labor, travail, using great watchfulness and skill in that space, in that time, to bring the book to an end and set it forth for them also, which in a strange country are willing to learn, being prepared before in manners to live after the law. Which in a strange country are willing to learn. That sounds something like what we read over here. And John 4:21, Yahweh Shai saith unto her, Woman, believe me, the hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. Look at that. Are we not in a strange country, away from the mountains and the areas and the place of our nativity? We're in a strange country, so what? We got to learn this thing all over again. We got to rehearse the righteous acts. And we're being led by the Spirit, which the world doesn't understand, that we're led by the Spirit, okay? Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. That's why brothers also talk about New York being spiritual Jerusalem, okay? It's spiritual. See, they don't understand the spirit, man. They don't understand the level and intensity of faith. Okay, so that was it for that little lesson. Okay, moving back to this word culture. Okay, we're progressing with understanding. Hopefully, people are progressing as well. Um, okay, see colony. We're gonna get there too. The figurative sense of cultivation through education. What does education mean? It means to draw out. Okay, is first attested circa 1500, meaning the intellectual side of civilization. Okay, it says it's from 1805. That of collective customs, okay, and achievements of a people is from 1867. Okay, so even with this, the intellectual side of civilization. Okay, and this all started with this verse here at camp yesterday. And at what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning the kingdom, to build and to plant it, to cultivate it, to worship. Okay, this kingdom, the nation and the kingdom. Okay, being what Yahweh Shai is gonna usher in. Okay, via the elect and the 1/3. Okay, so with this, we're going to look at another very common scripture. Okay, one that's always with heavy debate, right, or that's on heavy use by the world. Okay, and it reads, John 3:16, for Yahweh so loved the world, which that word world there is cosmos, okay, which you got to know what cosmos means. A lot of people don't know what cosmos means. It means world adorning, okay, an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution, order, government. What are we reading about culture here? The intellectual side of civilization, the true worshipers who are worshiping in truth and in spirit. Okay, this is what John 3:16 is dealing with. Okay, this is the world he's dealing with, Israel, that he gave his only begotten son to redeem those that were under the law, Israel. Okay, that whosoever believeth in him should not perish but have everlasting life. Let's keep looking at this word cosmos. Ornament decoration, adornment, i.e., the arrangement of the stars, the heavenly hosts, as the ornament of the heavens, the world, the universe, the circle of the earth. Okay, that's the globe, the earth, the inhabitants of the earth, men, the human family, the ungodly multitude, the whole mass of men alienated from the Most High and therefore hostile to the cause of Yahweh Shai. Also, look at all these how it's used. Okay, now in John 3:16 they try to say the whole world. It says whole world. Okay, that's not the same as actually what they think it is. Okay, so we're gonna look up uh, what is it? Preached. It should come up, hopefully. Let's see. Oh, is it in all the world? I think it is. Let's see. Bear with me, Salakia. 24 and 14. Come. Okay. Matthew's 24 and 14. Matthew's 24 and 14. And this gospel of the kingdom, okay, what's that kingdom again? Okay, the figurative sense of cultivation through education, okay, meaning intellectual side of civilization, okay, shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. So although everyone's talking about, Israelites, now let's look up this word world, because this is obviously talking about the entire globe, but look at here, it's a different word, oikomene. Okay, if John 3:16 was meant for the whole world or earth, see how specific this is? Then oikomene would be in John 3:16 instead of cosmos, the inhabited earth, the portion of the earth inhabited by the Greeks in distinction from the lands of the barbarians, the Roman Empire, all the subjects of its empire. Okay, just like America is an empire and it has many subjects, the whole inhabited earth, the world, the inhabitants of the earth, men, the universe, the world. That's very specific. Look at terrain, part of the globe, especially the Roman Empire, earth or world. Okay, because Rome reached out throughout the whole globe, right? That was their part of their dominion. They wanted to reach far, and they owned the whole known world. That's why this gospel had to go out throughout all four corners. Okay, cosmos. John 3:16, the word here for world is cosmos. Okay, which is a certain cultivated, okay, intellectual society or government, an educated government. Okay, orderly arrangement, including its inhabitants. Okay, see if there's a little bit more juice in this. Okay, so like you just kind of speed reading through this. Okay, that's the point. Okay, that's the point. So culture, cultivation through education. Okay, is dealing with the elect, the intellectual side of civilization. Okay, that's the John 3. That's what John 3 sees. 3:16 is talking about, man. Okay, the world of the elect, man. Not all Israel is of Israel. Fuck 2/3, man. And they don't matter. They didn't matter then. They don't matter now, man. It's about the elect. Okay, so moving forward, remember this is from Jeremiah. And at what instant I shall speak concerning the nation and concerning the kingdom to build and to plant it, to cultivate it. It was that cultivation. So from the word cult, right off the bat, what is it talking about? Worship. honor, a particular form of worship. I'm reiterating Salakia, okay? Because you got a lot of knuckleheads out there. Yahweh is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and truth. And because of that, um, the world isn't able to comprehend the light, you know, because they're in darkness, right? So now we're looking at the word colony. We're going to wrap it up, okay? Late 14th century. See how it goes back? The words go further and further back, which is why we pulled up the prologue to Sirach, okay? Because words lose power and meaning over time, understanding over time. So you got to get the understanding, which when you go to pursue that understanding, what you're doing is you're cultivating through education the intellectual side of a civilization. See, the elect are going to have an understanding mind where the 2/3 are not going to have that understanding mind. Okay? So we got to get back to the understanding. Ancient Roman settlement outside of Italy, from Latin colonia, a settled land, or farm, a landed estate. From colonus, husbandman, tenant, or farmer. So we're supposed to be a husbandman, farming, right? Tilling this land, putting the word out there so that the wheat and the tare grow together, and at the end, it'll get separated. From colere, to cultivate, to till, to inhabit. So we're inhabiting a spiritual Jerusalem. We're building up the ark. We're building up the temple. We're the body Yahweh Shai being resurrected. Okay, to frequent, practice, respect. This is another word for worship right here. Practice. Does that look familiar? Worship, a particular form of worship. Respect, honor, which is also another form of right here, worship and reverence. Okay. It says tend or guard, right? Dealing with husbandmen, with tilling. Okay, right here, at what instant I shall speak concerning a nation and concerning a kingdom, to build and to plant it. That's what we're doing. Okay, we can build and we can plant, but the Most High gives the increase. Okay, from a pi root, quell, which means move around, turn about, source also of Latin cola, inhabitant. See, cycle, also used by the Romans to translate Greek apokia, people from home. Modern application dates from 1540s. So see how we had to go back from cult into culture into colony. People from home. What does this go back to? The hour cometh when ye shall neither in this mountain nor yet at Jerusalem worship the Father. They that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. See? The hour cometh and is now when the true worshipers, when the true cultists shall reverence or honor, shall shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth, for the Father seeketh such to worship him. And the world doesn't understand that because they're in the dark. Okay? They don't understand because they're in the dark, man. And the light shineth in darkness, and the darkness comprehended not. So hopefully, the elect, hopefully brothers were edified and fed through the spirit of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, and gained more understanding on this word cult and why, we know why they say it, because they use it as a derogatory, as a negative term. And there's an example, a modern example here, okay? An organized group of people, religious or not, with whom you disagree. That's Rawson's, I guess, quote or definition. Okay, so we just learned what the word cult means. It just means worship. And they want to dig deeper into it. It deals with a cultivation or culture, which culture is supposed to be a cultivation through education, the intellectual side of civilization. Because 2/3 of our people, they're not smart. They're a bunch of Mike Epps running around. Okay, they're not intellectual, so they're not part of the John 3:16. Okay, they're not part of that adorning arrangement or beautiful society that's going to inherit the kingdom. They're not part of the meek who are going to inherit the earth. Okay, which led us into the word colony, which tied all of that together and probably brought out some more points, which we could do a sideshow on some of these other points later too. Okay, husbandman, tenant, farmer, right? Which tied it back into Jeremiah 18:9, the Most High comparing himself with the potter's clay, Israel being in his hand, how he can build and plant it, the husbandman. Yahweh Shai is the groom, and we got to be the bridegroom, right? Which came back to people from home, tied it back into John 4:21. So you see how it all lines up? Not too difficult to understand. The elect hopefully have been fed and edified. And with that, we'll say Shalom, Akim. Yahweh Shem Yahshai Barakatah. Shalom.